So over the past year or so, I've been using ChatGPT more and more for qualitative analysis. And honestly, it's becoming really good. It can summarize interviews, identify themes, and even link findings back to supporting quotes. That was also that wasn't the case before, but it's doing it a lot better now with the newer models on OpenAI and Claude. So I wanted to answer a bigger question: can it actually replace a qualitative analysis workflow? So I've got an interview transcript here of a focus group. I'm just gonna add it to ChatGPT and just say something like this. I'm using the latest, biggest model from ChatGPT, GPT 5.6 Soul on Intelligence High. So first impression, honestly, it's really good. The summaries are clear. The themes are pretty good, and the quotes are linked fairly well. If I wanted to get a quick understanding of the interview, I'd probably start here. I think we moved past the point where we're asking whether ChatGPT can analyze interviews. It clearly can. Summaries, themes, and quotes. But generating themes is only just the first pass. Real qualitative analysis is iterative. You need to check if the themes make sense, if they match sort of your research goals. You need to maybe edit, merge codes, rename some of the themes, compare, get a kind of more visual view of what's going on, challenge your own interpretation. That's where most of the work really happens. So instead of stopping here, let's keep analyzing. Now I'm starting to iterate, and we'll see where it takes us. So I've asked it to replace the theme, and um, now the source quotes are not linked, so that's kind of a bummer. And now I need to ask whether I need to sort of ask it to give me the full list again with the replacement. So I think this is where ChatGPT becomes a little bit difficult to use in actual research workflow. It's not that it's not capable. It gives pretty good answers, but now some of these themes don't have linkage to actual quotes to the original source material, so I need to double check that, which is going to take me a long time. I need to basically copy paste each of these quotes into the transcript, try to find it in the transcript. And yeah, it's just a lot of scrolling, and I need to keep going back and forth from scrolling, copying, pasting maybe into another document. At this point, I'm just spending as much time managing the conversation as actually doing the analysis for the research. So that was probably the biggest surprise, or the thing that's difficult that I realized. That the AI is not the bottleneck anymore. It's really the workflow. So here's what my workflow actually looks like today. This is an AI native qualitative analysis tool that I'm uploading the same interview file too. So now it looks like the analysis is ready. There are 5 themes, 40 excerpts, 21 tags. And yes, so these are the high-level themes. And more specific tags under each theme. And here's the direct excerpts, fully coded transcripts. And so, yeah, so I can rename some of these themes if I wanted to, assign them to different codes, or maybe, if some of these quotes should be included more context, I can highlight it and assign a different excerpt. So, this is sort of the iteration that you need to do to refine and to understand and decide which parts of the AI analysis that I want to keep versus not keep. So similarly in the ChatGPT, what I did was to delete a theme, add a different one. I could do the same thing here. And yeah, I guess what was missing in ChatGPT was the actual more specific codes that live under each theme, and which participant, for example, if it's a multi-participant conversation, in this case for a focus group, that a particular quote or tag or theme belong to, or evidence belong to. So yeah, that's sort of the workflow that I need. I need to keep refining everything without having to go through the conversation back and forth and copy paste and spend a lot of time figuring out where an answer was given, and scroll back and forth in the conversation. So in here I can have a more concise view, get a report, do a Q&A if I wanted to ask specific questions. Yeah. So that is the biggest takeaway, that AI has made generating sort of ideas dramatically faster. I mean, ChatGPT is still a huge part of my workflow. I use it to brainstorm, challenge my thinking, revise findings, explore alternate interpretations. But I don't expect I can do everything in a chat conversation. I need to still organize things, break things down, edit, delete, and I need at least another document, like an Excel document, to do that. And I need to go back and forth with ChatGPT to manage that. Yeah, so the work really hasn't disappeared, it just moves downstream. Like before, the actual analysis or going through the transcript took time. And you still need to do that today, even with ChatGPT. It doesn't give you doesn't do qualitative coding. And so, yeah, that work hasn't disappeared, just shifted to more downstream refining, reviewing the evidence, and deciding what I actually believe or not. And that's where qualitative analysis is heading. So I'd love to know, how you're using ChatGPT for qualitative analysis. How has it become your, workflow, or have you ended up building some other tool around it or using other tools? Let me know. Thanks for watching.